Well, it's my pleasure to introduce you all to Katie, who is a sprightly young mum of 30 years of age. She's got two kids, aged 4 and 5. And Katie, your start in this program was not without its difficulty in the sense of this massive mindset barrier, even before we began. I know we joked about it just now, but there was a total of 20 emails that went backwards and forwards between yourself and me before we even got to the stage of talking about the program and looking into mapping out your personalized plan. But that leap of faith, that decision that you made going back just over 2 weeks ago now, has culminated in some amazing progress already. You've lost 5 kilos in 2 weeks. Before we get into that, I want to know, why did you want to make this change? Why did you step up to this program? I know it was a leap of faith, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit of detail. But why for you was starting this program such a pivotal key thing?
Well, basically it came down to, I didn't realise it until I spoke to you, but I was actually having this massive fear of failure. So I was consistently going through this cycle of exercise, lose a whole bunch of weight, and then slip into complacency. And it actually came back to some previous events where, through some personal hardship, I actually believed I wasn't successful, that I wasn't good enough, and that I wasn't worthy of that change or worthy of feeling good within myself. So having a good old yarn with yourself brought that out, and it really opened my mind up as to what this big issue was. So to finally realise, okay, I need to do this for me in regards to feel good about myself, not just physically, but in my mind, that's when it was like, okay, this is what I really need to do, and I need to do it ASAP.
Which was really interesting to me, because I knew from the very moment that I talked with you, that you had this insatiable desire for success in terms of progressing forward, achieving this goal because of what it represented to you. But at the same time, that very first conversation we had, going back even before the 20 emails went backwards and forwards, I knew straight away that your biggest challenge was going to get past yourself, because you did have this massive fear of failure, which we identified. We did see this belief deep within yourself that, what if I wasn't good enough? What if I couldn't? What if I can't? And as a result of that, you threw up all these potential excuses and reasons why you might not be able to make this change, and more importantly, why you might not be able to do this program. For example, you threw up the dollar issue. You were going through a situation where you were coming to the end of your contract and you were going to be without work. And I remember you saying, well, Jay, if money wasn't an issue, I'd jump on this straight away. And you and I both know now that that was not a reason why you shouldn't do this. And it's something where you did step up and you said, Jay, do you know what? I'm feeling this fear. I'm uncertain of how well I'm going to go, but staying here is worse than the potential pain that I'm going to have to experience as a result of getting outside my comfort zone and actually taking this leap of faith. And like I said at the start, this leap of faith has paid off, in the interim. It's only been 2 weeks since you've started, 2 and a bit weeks, but already, the tenacity, the drive, the focus. And as a result, the changed person, looking in your eyes now, I can see even the change in you already. Let's talk about that. How are you feeling already that you've lost 5 kilos, that you're on this progress, knowing that we don't define success by the outcome goal, but by the attitude, by the actions you're taking? But how are you feeling as a result already?
To be honest, even put the weight loss aside, my mindset is completely different to when we first spoke. So I'm feeling really good within myself. I'm feeling really confident within myself, and not just my husband and people close to me, but people around me are saying, wow, you've got this energy about you, and you give off this vibe, and it's really come through with the training, with the little morning rituals that we do, that has made a huge difference to my self-belief and the drive of wanting to achieve, of wanting to be better within myself as well. And the energy's gone through the roof. I'm sleeping better. It's hard not to be in a better mindset because of all of those things combined.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that we talked about this before this analogy that small hinges swing big doors. You look at a door frame, there's 2 or 3 hinges that hold that door up, that cause it to operate. And with you, we really have focused in on the essence of those things that were holding you back, those little 1%ers that, for somebody looking in might go, well, that's not that big a deal. It's only a small hinge, but together, it's really had that profound impact on where you're at. But we have to celebrate you as well, because you have stepped up in a massive way and you really have hit your fears head on. There's been moments even in the last 2 and a bit weeks where I know there's, post-Christmas, for example, there's been reasons why you might not have taken this action, why on a daily reason, you've hit walls, you've hit this, but I know there's been this thought process as well. Well, no, I'm here. What can I do? Let's not focus on what I can't do well. And like I said, that's really paying off as well. I want to talk a little bit more about just the practicalities of where you're at, because again, 30 years young, 2 kids, age 4 and 5, which in itself is a handful. You are a quote unquote typical family in the sense you've got normal stresses on your life. You've got a mortgage, you've got responsibilities, etc. And this was a leap of faith for you financially, because I know for some people that's going to be just a genuine practical reality they have to consider. How did you get around that in your head? Because I know this isn't costing you an arm and a leg, but you have invested in yourself for this program relative to your own personal goals and what it is we're working on. But how did you come to conclude that this investment in yourself was worth it?
I think I was mentally in a bad place pre-talking to you, because I didn't know what was happening with employment, and I still really don't know what's happening. I'm just really lucky that I've picked up some agency shifts here and there. So it was a huge, huge leap, and something I kind of kept to myself, I'll have to admit, my poor husband, because I knew that now is the time that I need to get my headspace right, because otherwise I was just going to continue on this decline of, I have no money, I don't feel good, like my headspace isn't great. So, all right, money is tough for us at the moment. I mean, it's tough for everyone realistically, but we were in a particular pickle. And I figured, well, at least I may as well get something right out of what isn't going my way. Since changing my mindset, things with work have actually started to starting to work themselves out.
I don't want to draw a direct correlation, but I do want to highlight the fact that by you taking this leap of faith, by your actions actually saying to the world, to the universe, that you are important, that you have value, that you want to prioritize yourself in the equation of your life, because you recognize and you're in a state where you were in a state of decline in terms of your energy and your focus. And when we first spoke, you said, Jay, I want to be a great mum, I want to be a great wife, I want to be focused and energetic, and all these elements that you weren't yet feeling in your life. And I love the fact that the leap of faith for you, what I really see is the essence of putting yourself first, not in a self-centered, conceited way, but with a healthy perspective, recognizing that if I don't put myself first, if I don't take care of number one, I can't be these things that I want to be in my life. And as a result, and I see it time and time and time again and again, we can't make a direct correlation that when you put yourself first, you get a job promotion or anything like that. But what it does do is it sets up this chain reaction of events that you're feeling better, you're feeling positive, feeling optimistic. And as a result, your world around you, your ecosystem that you live in, can't help but be changed as a result.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
What's been the best thing so far? Again, I know you're only on newbie and we're literally still just finding our stride and where it is we're going to go. And I'm sure your goals are going to evolve and change. But what's been the best thing about the program so far for you personally?
I'm really loving the morning rituals. So try and not go into too great a detail, I guess, but changing our mindset, via physiologically and, thinking about, the greater things to be grateful.
So really setting your intention through a very simple morning ritual that we do to help change your state, not just emotionally, mentally, but physically as well.
Yeah, and I find that even though it's called a morning ritual, if I've had a bit of a rough day, I find myself doing it in the evening as well, just to have some me time, and it completely gets me out of my funk, and then I can go back to being more productive as a wife, as a mum, just as a person in general. So I think that's probably been one of the bigger ones for me personally, because it is focusing on the mindset.
What about the support of the group in terms of, you're doing this with a group of girls, even though you're doing it individually and you and I are working together on your personal goals, you do have access to that group support network where people are going through the same thing, working towards similar goals. How's that been for you?
Yeah, really good. The girls are extremely supportive of each other. Always, it's a place where you can vent if you need to vent, and it's a place where you can get ideas of food or exercises or that sort of thing, or just ask a general question. And everyone's been really good, or even to share your success with too, because
celebrating
we're all
those
on the
wins.
journey together, so we understand the pitfalls as well as the highs.
Yeah.
So sharing it with people who really get it is really cool.
Okay, here's a tough one for you. What about this essence? You and I have not yet met. We may meet, we may not. It really depends on how the universe lines up. But how does this work for you? Because some people will be watching this right now. They don't understand the inner workings and the power of this program because they haven't experienced it for themselves. How is this working so well for you in the sense that I'm not there? I'm not kicking your ass in the gym. I'm giving you the strategy. I'm giving you the coaching, the advice, the support, the kick up the ass when you do need it. But how is this working for you?
Interesting you asked that, because a lot of my friends and family have asked me the same thing.
They're like, Jay's not real. He's just this figment of your imagination, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're paying this guy that you just don't even know. No. So I think it's great from the point of we're taking accountability for our own actions and for our own progress. So I personally work better alone, so it does suit me quite well. It's here, go do this, and I go, oh, okay, and go do it. But I think it gives you a bigger sense of pride when you do have results, because you say, well, I did this. Okay, Jay gave me the tools and the support to say, all right, well, this is what we should be doing. But I did it for me.
100%.
I did it because I want to do it, and I did it all on my own. Well, not all on my own, but essentially physically, I did it all on my own, and I pushed myself. So I think it gives you a greater sense of achievement.
And from that personal point of responsibility, what I hear you saying is that you've taken ownership of you, that in the end, you are the only one who is responsible for you. You are the one who is responsible to take that leap of faith, to apply yourself, to get uncomfortable, to follow through, to take action. And as a result, you're the one who gets to enjoy the benefits of that. And I think that's you've hit the nail on the head. It's really about taking ownership, accountability for yourself, and as a result, really taking ownership of the rewards as well. All right, here's your chance. I want you to imagine that you're speaking to yourself 3 weeks ago. Someone might be watching this right now who is in a bit of a funk, with where they're at. They're wanting to change. They recognize everything you've talked about. They may even, have that sense of, I understand where she's at, where she's coming from. What is your key piece of advice? What would you say to yourself 3 weeks ago before we sent those 20 emails backwards and forwards about you going, I really, really want this, Jay. Don't give up on me, but I'm afraid. I don't know if I can do this. I might be a failure. What if? What would you say to you or somebody watching this right now?
Don't do it. Just jump. Don't think. Just jump.
Don't think about it.
Absolutely. Sorry.
Just jump.
Yep.
And what would someone need to do to just jump? Because it wasn't that easy for you. There was this thought process that went around. What did you have to think or feel in order to go, F it, I'm doing it?
I think the conversation I had with you, I'm not an easy nut to crack, especially when it comes down to emotional stuff. But I think in about 15 minutes you had me pegged, and you knew everything that was going on and what contributed, behind the scenes. So that proved to me immediately that you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to get results. I mean, I know you've been doing this for a long time and you've done it for so many people, and you hear that over and over from other people, like, yeah, whatever. But the fact that you had me pegged and so quick, that caught me off guard. And
I don't know if I should apologise for that or say you're welcome.
And that was my turning point. That was my
right.
Okay, all right. Well, you need to just do this. So, but like you said, that was my fear factor that kept creeping in, that kept putting the walls up. So, 3 weeks ago, I wish I could say just tear down the walls. They're going to be torn down anyway, so just go for it.
So what I hear you saying, to summarise, was we cut through the bullshit effectively, didn't we?
That's it. That is the best term around this in this program, is no bullshit excuses, and that is on point.
Literally. Well, look, we celebrate you, and again, I know you've only just started and the best is yet to come, and I'm so excited to see where you take this program in terms of your own personal progress and the results, the cumulative effect that this will have on you as an individual and those around you as well. So well done. 5 kilos in 2 weeks. Can't wait to do an update case study down the track where we're seeing where you're at then, but well done in the meantime.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jay.
Thanks for your time, Katie.